Thanksgiving is when we kind of kick off the holiday parties. We kick off all the good stuff, like all the food, all the drinks. But sometimes we gorge, Tom.
We?
Sometimes.
I guess you're
We can't help it.
covering us all in there.
I'm lumping myself in there, okay?
Well, if you're going to bring that up, I'm going to invite our 9 News medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, to see if she can stop by and answer some questions since you happen to be sitting right there.
Yeah.
So binge, gorge, we get into these food terms, and I imagine they fall into different categories. Like you used to say, I have stuff in myself, I'm eating too much. But when do you go over the line a little bit? When do you become a binger or a gorger?
Well, it's interesting. If you look at the major holidays like Super Bowl and Thanksgiving, those are the two events in which we binge. We binge a lot. And that means taking far excess of your usual daily caloric requirements. So for most of us, that's about 2,000 calories.
Well, not your requirement. Like, say it's what you normally eat, because we don't all eat the requirement. We eat
fair.
what we eat. But say I eat 100% of dinner every day, and then on Thanksgiving I eat 165%.
More like 200, 250%. So you're talking about most average Americans should be eating 2,000, maybe 2,500. On Thanksgiving, we'll eat about 3,500 to 4,000 just with the meal. And that counts, of course, the appetizers and the drinks. But 2 to 3 times what we ought to be eating. Mm-hmm. And again, it's not good for our gut. But if you think about the way Thanksgiving is set up, it's why it happens. It's high-fat foods, it's creamy things, it's carb-loaded, and then the portion sizes are a lot bigger than usual. And then we're eating for a lot more hours. So the duration of the event also sets us up to overeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it all sounds so good. Personally, the first part is the appetizers and the wine is what gets me, but to begin with. But I've heard that theory, like you start stretching your stomach, and then that's what happens all the way through the holidays. Is that true? I mean, can you really stretch your stomach and then all of a sudden you require more calories? You just crave more calories?
So it's not so much the physical stretching of the stomach that changes your set point. It's more that it happens up here. But yes, if you chronically overeat or undereat, you will change your sort of set point as to what your appetite is. So certainly that's true. But you know, you mentioned the appetizers and snacks, and I have to say my biggest tip for avoiding binging, try to skip the appetizers or try to skip that grazing. You know, when you're standing by the vegetables and you're eating the carrots and you're eating the nuts and you're eating the cheese off the cheese board. No, because that's where you get a lot of those empty calories and you're not necessarily getting as much bang for your buck.
But what if you eat those and skip pumpkin pie? Come on, you could give and take.
That's an option as well. But the other suggestion I would have is don't try everything out there, because we have this temptation when we go to a beautiful table that's laid out with many different things that we want a little bit of everything, especially our desserts. And sometimes there can be 2 or 3 desserts.
Well, you owe it to the people who made all the fabulous food to try everything.
That's how I feel obligated.
And I'm glad you said that, because the socializing part of it makes you eat more for 2 reasons. 1, you're less mindful. And 2, you're feeling like it's not as gracious, or people say, no, 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 take another. You want to show the host that you're celebrating. So again, just try to do it in a way where you can be sneaky and reach for one thing rather than 2 or 3 things for seconds. And then really try to space out when you reach for seconds. So this is a big, big clue for me, is I always reach for seconds right away, and you want to wait at least 20 to 30 minutes. And I know that's a big ask when you're sitting at the table, but if you wait for that 20 minutes, it gives your brain time to get that satiety signal. The stomach stretches, releases hormones that then go to your brain and says, okay,
we're full. We're done.
Yep.
Well, if you can take anything away from Dr. Kohli's advice, the 2 words that I grabbed more than any other when you said, be sneaky.
That's what you hung on to.
So be sneaky in any way that works for you. Happy Thanksgiving. Good to see you. You can find more with Dr. Kohli at 9news.com/Dr. Kohli.